Hey guys, welcome back. So today I came out here to the garden and I was harvesting some of our bell peppers, and our garden is mostly just peppers and tomatoes and eggplants right now. But there's still several things that are still left out here, and I thought maybe I'd come out and do some seed saving today. I need to get some of these seeds saved before I don't have any plants left, right? So I planted a lot of heirloom varieties this year in order to save the seeds and be able to plant them next year and kind of get out of having to buy so many seeds every year. So I think all the seeds we're going to be saving today are all going to be inside of the fruit of the plant. And most of the time you're looking for a ripe fruit. And sometimes you're actually looking for what we would consider an overripe fruit. That way it's developed enough that you have good viable seeds inside. So let's go ahead and get started and see what we can find out here. So this here is a zucchini, and you can tell the plant's all dead. And for zucchini, you're actually looking for an overripe fruit. You're wanting one that gets really big and overripe. And this was our last zucchini. And in fact, it's actually turning orange, and that's probably a sign of overripeness, some squash bugs. And this should be a good zucchini for us to be able to seed save out of. So this here was our green beans. In fact, we still have some plants that are putting green beans on right here. But what we're looking for is, we're looking for these dried beans. That's what we want. So we're gonna pick all these dried up beans that have dried on the plant, and that will be good seeds for us for next year. So there's several in here. In fact, you can save these beans. You could probably save them and use them as dried beans in cooking. Like navy beans. I think there'll be a white bean on the inside of these, and you could use them as a navy bean. But let's go through and pick several of these dried ones. We'll have plenty of beans for next year. So this is a banana pepper plant. This is the tallest one. And what you're looking for is one of these mature fruits that has changed color. And preferably you'd like to get maybe one of the biggest ones, like kind of like this, to save seeds from. Okay, I found one on this side over here. So here we go. Let's change colors, and we'll save this banana pepper for seeds. We'll also save this one that's turned completely red for seeds. So these are Anaheim chili peppers, and you want a nice big ripe one. Oh, see, that's a nice Anaheim chili pepper. That one ain't bad either. So we'll use these two to save seeds from. You'll have plenty of seeds. So these here are Chicago pickling cucumber, and you don't want them ripe, you want them overripe. Now this one is getting there. It's not quite completely overripe. You want one that's like this, really overripe, that it's turned orange, and this is one we'll save seeds from. So on tomatoes, you just need one that's ripe. So we'll get a couple of these. So for eggplant, you want one that's gone way too long, one that's overripe. And this one has lost its purple color, and it's just really big. It's just an old eggplant that's gone too long. That's what you want. You want an overripe one. There we go. It's even starting to turn yellow. So this here is our pumpkins and our butternut squash that we had this year. We didn't have very many, but they've been curing out here in the sun, and they're gonna go in the basement and store. And there's no reason to save the seeds out of these until we go to eat them or process them. So the seeds will keep perfectly fine inside of them for now. So here's everything that I picked that we're gonna get seeds out of. So let's start cutting into these and saving the seeds. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start with the easy one, peppers. Peppers are super easy. Just cut around the top of the pepper and then pull it out. Oh man, these banana peppers don't have very many seeds. And then I'm gonna take the seeds out of here, put them on this paper towel. So let's open up the next one. Let's see if we get some more from this one. Paper's gonna want to float away on me. Yes, So this one has quite a bit more seeds in it. So now I've got all these banana pepper seeds here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my dehydrating tray and I'm going to put it inside of there. And then I'm going to cover it up so it doesn't blow away. Big old chili pepper. Okay, there we go. So there's an good example of the inside of a pepper. All the seeds that are on there, you just got to break them off of there. And they'll go flying, but most of them will go on the paper towel. You got all those seeds on a paper towel. Once again, I'll put those in here on my dehydrator tray and then cover them up. Clean off my working spot. The next thing is our green beans. So what we're going to do is break these pods open, start getting the beans out of them. So you're going to look for nice, big, plump, healthy beans, not shriveled up ones or any that have changed color. So it's not that all of these are going to be good, you know. I'd say that's probably enough of the green beans. So I'm just going to put those in my tray here, loose. They're easy to know that they're a green bean. Next thing up is the zucchini. I'm hoping that this thing, it was the last one on the plant. I'm hoping this thing is ripe enough that the seeds are good. Because they can get way bigger than this. So I'm just going to cut it in half. I'm going to try to cut it in half. It's already going bad on the inside, but the seeds are still there. So this may be easier than I thought it was. Looks disgusting, but just pull the seeds out and spread them out on the paper towel. All right, next thing up is eggplant. So see if we can get the seeds out of this. This may be a trick. Cut the top off. I know some people like run these through a blender, I think, to try to get these seeds out, but you can see them. They're right through here. You can see all these seeds. So, this paper towel to put the seeds on. Let me weigh it down. See if we can just knock all these seeds out on this paper towel. So eggplant seed is really similar to a tomato seed. Very similar in size, shape. Take that pocket out of there. So I know that, there we go. The seeds are kind of embedded in here, so you kind of got to dig through it to get them out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this other seed pocket. See if I can cut it out. We'll slowly chip away at this. See if I can peel this open. And there we are, a bunch of seeds. Like I said, some people just run these through the blender and then they clean it in water and sift out the seeds. So all we need to do now is to dry these seeds. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this like dehydrating mat over the top of them so they don't blow around, so that paper towel doesn't move around. And then I'm going to put them in the dehydrator on the lowest temperature setting. I'm not going to cook them. I'm basically just going to let them circulate with air and dry. That's all I'm going to do. So I just want to put this mat over the top just to keep the paper towels from blowing around and losing all the seeds. Now the beans, I won't have to do that. They're fine, they weigh enough. But that's what I'm gonna do. Dehydrator, lowest setting, and just let them circulate for a day or two, let them dry out, and then I should be able to store them away for next year. So the only thing we got left is the tomatoes and the cucumbers, and they have to be fermented for a few days in their own juices before they're viable seeds. So we'll go inside and we'll finish up those. So time for the cucumber. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into quarters, like big pickle spears. I've already got seeds falling out. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I got a little jelly jar here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it and I'm going to slice all the juice and the seeds, hopefully, into the jar. And I'm going to miss some. I don't know if you can tell, but it is basically sitting in its own juices, all the seeds. Do the same thing. Now I probably could have left these as halves. I think some people will do that and they'll use like an ice cream scoop to scoop out the seeds and all the juice in the middle. Maybe I should have done that. It might have been a little easier. So we've got our jar full of cucumber seeds and juice. All we're going to do is cover that up with a coffee filter. Put a little rubber band around it. And then we're going to let that sit for about 3 days and let it ferment. So the next thing I got is tomatoes. So we're going to cut them open. See if we can find the seeds on the inside. So these are paste tomatoes. So I'm just going to run my finger through here. Try to get all the juice and seeds out of the pockets here in the tomato. So you can tell there wasn't as much juice as the cucumber. 3 tomatoes, and that's all we got. So that was a alpaca paste tomato. We'll cover that up with the filter, and then we'll write on the filter alpaca. I don't even know if I'm spelling that right, but anyway, so I know the difference. Last one is Amish paste tomatoes. Same thing, juice and seeds in the jar. So the cucumbers, I'm going to let those ferment for 3 days, and the tomatoes, I'm going to let them ferment until it starts getting like a white film on the surface. It'll look like it's starting to mold on top, and then those should be done. And then all you got to do after that is when you're ready to harvest the seeds, you just add water to it. And the good seeds will go to the bottom, they'll sink. And then all the bad seeds and all the other junk should float up to the top. And that'll help you separate everything out. And then you basically just take the good seeds from the bottom and you dry them. And I'll probably just do exactly what I'm doing with the other seeds. I'll probably just put them in the dehydrator on the lowest setting and let them dry. And then after that, you just store them till next year's garden. And what I'm doing to store them is I've got this little container that's from, I think, like the craft department. And I think that's where Rebecca found it. But it's got 6 little compartments, and I just mark them what type of seed they are, and then I store the seeds in there. And I've got a few of these little trays to store seeds in. In fact, these are right here, these 2 right here are the tomatoes that we grew this year, and we're saving again this, right now, today. So I did this whole process last year, saved seeds, and my tomato plants grew fine. So hopefully I'll have luck with the rest of the seeds I'm saving this year, and we'll have several plants that we can grow and maybe even share some seeds with other people, and I didn't have to buy them. So that's a good thing, and trying to get the cost down on the garden. So if I can make my own compost, harvest my own seeds, that's a lot of the cost of the garden. Now that the garden's built, there was a big expense building our garden out there, but now that it's built, as long as I can just add compost and then grow from my own seeds, it should be fairly cheap to raise vegetables every year. So I know I'm going to get comments about saving the pepper seeds and the tomato seeds having multiple varieties in the garden close to each other, and that I actually might be getting a hybrid seed instead of an heirloom seed. Now that is true. I could definitely probably space my plants out a little farther apart so they're not right next to each other, and try to minimize any cross-pollination between the different varieties. But I think I'll be able to continue saving seeds this way, and until I finally get, I mean, you'll see probably the difference when you start getting a hybrid plant. You know, the fruits won't be as big or the same shape or something like that. And when I start seeing that the plants aren't producing the way I want them to be, then I can go back, I can buy heirloom seeds again and start all over. But I'll probably continue to seed save this way until I start seeing plants that aren't ideal anymore. And then, you know, then I probably am getting a hybrid, and I can go back and buy the heirloom. So all the seeds I saved today were fairly easy seeds to save. You basically just cut the vegetable open, find the seeds, and save them, right? Dry them, save them. Now some of them I did have to ferment, so there's a few extra steps, but anybody should be able to save seeds like this, and hopefully I didn't get anything wrong, and hopefully all my seeds are good. The one plant I will worry about is maybe the zucchini. So the zucchini was on a dying plant, so it may have not got to complete full size, and then I had sat out there for long enough that it was starting to go bad on the inside. So that is the one plant seed that I may worry about being viable. We'll just have to wait and see. But as long as I harvested mature fruit, vegetables, I should have good seeds. So we'll just have to wait till next spring and find out. Hopefully I can get quite a few plants from the seeds I saved, and I might even be able to share some plants with somebody else since I've got so many seeds. So we'll just have to wait and see. So anyway, I think that's it for today, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.